Hello and welcome into another edition of Blaze Radio's Director's Cut. I am Braiden Bell, joined alongside Chris Cadeau, Weston DeWitt. It was the Territorial Cup here today as the Arizona State Sun Devils defeated the Arizona Wildcats by a final score of 42-30. And Chris, we'll start it out with you. It's something that we've noticed all year long with Arizona State, the resiliency. This team down by 10 points at halftime. They didn't blink. Came out in the third quarter, outscored Arizona 21-0. Ultimately propelled them to the win. What'd you see in that third quarter that was so impressive?
I saw the field literally go like this, and that was because of the block punt, and then the next thing you know, they're just doing things on defense that they weren't doing in the first half, and that was shutting down the quarterback play. Now, Khalil Tate did fall out going into the third quarter, come back in, try to have a last hurrah, then come back out, but you just saw the momentum change. And every part of that had to do with adjustments made by the coaching staff at halftime.
So, Chris, you mentioned it. We'll bring it over to you now, Weston. The biggest story of this game, for Arizona at least, was the injury to Khalil Tate. We talked about him all week long. He's a Heisman candidate. Got hurt on that last play, that first half. Didn't play much of the second half. Only one possession, really. What was the biggest change that you noticed Arizona without Khalil Tate?
Well, quite frankly, when Brandon Dawkins came into the game for that first possession in the third quarter, you could feel the stadium kind of just like shift, kind of similar to what Chris said. You could just feel a momentum change when he stepped into the game, because that's just how much of a strong presence that Khalil Tate has on this football team. So it was evident as soon as Dawkins stepped into the game that this game was going to be going in a completely different direction, and it did because of the blocked punt by Hodges, then 2 touchdowns, 21 points in the third quarter, and Arizona State with a big win.
Coming into this year, something you didn't know really about this team was who was the leader of this team. And I think that we all probably agree who has emerged throughout the year, Demario Richard. The senior tailback played his heart out here on senior night, over 100 yards in the second half alone. He was fantastic. Chris, what'd you see out of him?
You see a running back that is honestly, go ahead, hot take, third-round talent. Whoa. Or more. He really affected his draft stock in a positive way, the way he finished out this season. You could tell the way that he was running, downhill, with authority, hitting the blocks that he needed to hit off the offensive lineman's hips to just motor through the offensive line and just pick up chunk yardage for the last 5 or 6 games. He's a guy that is absolutely taking the next step, and you kind of wish he was coming back next year.
Well, Weston, what do you think it do, Rich?
Well, you remember at the start of the year, we were talking about Kalen Ballage maybe being an NFL draft pick. Did we really think the tables would be turning and we'd be saying Demario Richard is a third-round pick? I mean, when you said that, Chris, I'm like, what did you just say? It was unbelievable.
Make no mistake. Kalen Ballage, the way that he just looked this year, looked hampered. And with the type of a body and the type of running back that he is, look for him possibly to get healthy and still have a decent NFL career.
So we called Demario Richard throughout most of his career here at ASU baby beast mode. I think he's just beast mode now. We've said that over the course of the year. All right, Weston, final question for you here, and it's one that's on the minds of many Sun Devil fans, and that is the future of Todd Graham. A report came out right before kickoff that his job future might not matter if he won or lost this game. Of course, ASU won. Does that matter in your opinion?
No, because it's of my personal opinion that Todd Graham should not be fired. I think that he has a very strong impact on this team. He's a heck of a coach, in my opinion. He's just been given such harsh criticism left and right because of the expectations and the money that he's getting paid. And by the way, on a lighter note, there is a Keep Todd Graham hashtag already trending on Twitter. So I think some of the fans feel the same way that I do. And when you look at tonight's game especially compared to last year's, I mean, Arizona stepped on the gas pedal last year and did not let up. Over 500 yards rushing in last year's game. And when we came into this game tonight, guys, the first thing we mentioned off the top of the telecast was if Arizona wins this game and they kick their butts handingly and it's just a stomping and a romping, then Todd Graham needs to be fired. But they came into this game, and if they had lost by just a few points and played great all night long, then he should keep his job. With this win, in my opinion, this further solidifies that he's the head coach next year.
Chris, what's your opinion on Coach Graham?
I'm going to keep it simple. His stay has been unacceptable. And I believe that you need to have the same standards with your football team as anyone else in the Pac-12. You look at what UCLA just did with Jim Mora, gets the W, sent on his way. I will tell you this. If Todd Graham is replaced with somebody who is going to move this program further, guaranteed, it's a no-brainer. Bye, Todd. Sorry. Thank you so much for your service. we'll be fine without you. But if you cannot make these players better, if he gives this program the best chance to win, then if you are Ray Anderson and the president of this university, you have to stay with Todd Graham.
Todd Graham and this entire Sun Devil football program really put forth quite the statement here today. 42-30, the final score, defeating their arch rival Arizona. Before we sign off, got to say goodbye to these two guys right here, my fellow directors here, Weston, Chris. It was your senior day as well, and I just personally want to thank you for everything you guys have done for Blaze Radio and all the fine work you put forth this year.
Thank you, Braiden. And just from me to you, straight up, man, you have an incredible future in the broadcasting business, and I can't wait to see what you do next year as the senior, and maybe you'll be calling this game next year.
Thank you. You guys had a great call today. Chris, as always, thank you so much.
Really appreciate the opportunity that Blaze Radio and being a director has afforded me. You gentlemen are top of the class. Look forward to seeing what you do in your career, and next year, it's going to be all you, bro.
Oh,
Yep.
Well, don't step off, Chris. We got to sign off one more time. One more time, folks, at Director's Cut. It's been a great year of Sun Devil football. There is a bowl game, so who knows? We could be there depending on where the Devils end up playing in December, but we will let you know about that. For one more time, I'm Braiden Bell. Weston DeWitt, Chris Cadeau. The Sun Devils defeat Arizona 42-30. Until next time.